At the end of the Tournament of Power, in which Goku and the Evil Emperor had formed a team being able to win the victory, they had revived all the other universes. However, in the same way, the 6 universes previously destroyed by the great Zeno Sama had returned, as well as their gods of destruction, but the leader of the gods would communicate with each of them telepathically. Brothers, we've been eliminated for millions of years, and the useless of the king completely now revives us. We need revenge, my brothers.
I agree, Akumo. I don't intend to be the mockery of that damn dwarf. I want to end his pathetic existence.
But how will we be able to defeat the king at all? This will be impossible.
Now, without wasting time, we'll form a single being.
We, the 6 renegade super gods, will form a being whose power will face the useless of Zeno Sama. All the gods agreed, so they began to unite, being able to form a powerful warrior, which, with his power, was overwhelming.
Ha 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 ha! I'm able to feel the power of Daishaken's useless, just like Zeno Sama's. Very close to them seem to be several ants.
The fusion of all the gods at an amazing speed was able to tear apart the same space, being able to reach the platform of the Tournament of Power. But at the moment, an amazing pressure would fall on everyone present. The only ones who were able to at least withstand it were the angels, while all the other warriors of Universe 7 were completely on the ground.
What's going on? We've already finished the tournament. Whose incredible pressure is this?
Everyone was surprised when in front of them, they were able to see Daishaken had received an extremely powerful blow, which made him fall to the platform with an incredible brutality.
Your power is abysmal. I don't know who you are, but at this moment, I'll eliminate you from all existence.
Zeno Sama would raise his hand, intending to eliminate that powerful warrior, but a loud laugh would resonate all over the place.
Ha 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 ha! Did you ever think the same thing would work twice?
You're completely wrong, dwarf. I'm gonna end your existence in this whole multiverse.
2 times? Who are you? I'm not able to remember any warrior with your characteristics.
Of course, that'd be impossible for you, since I'm the fusion of the 6 renegade super gods which you eliminated in the past, and we've returned in search of revenge. Daishaken, recovering from the blow, would stand up and raise his power to the maximum, destroying everything around him, so much that even the dimension would break into hundreds of pieces, so they'd reached the outskirts of the 12 universes. Renegade gods, so I have to give my life. I plan to end all of you, my children. I need your help, your Beerus. Communicate with all the other gods. We need all the possible support. Daishaken, accompanied by all the other angels, had launched themselves against Archon. That battle seemed like a pitched battle, but despite being more than a dozen warriors against a single warrior, Archon began to end the life of each of the angels. Even Daishaken suffered great damage with each of his blows.
Gods, quickly come to the outskirts of the 12 universes and bring your warriors, as an extremely powerful being has appeared and is facing Daishaken Sama.
The gods with a little fear would come quickly, so the instant they arrived, all the gods in the same way, commanded by Beerus, rushed against Archon, while Whis, with the help of his staff, was able to get the whole Universe 7 to recover.
Vegeta, there's no time! We'll have to do the fusion!
Damn it, Kakarot, you know I hate merging with you. But I understand. We will. Both warriors began to use the earrings of the Supreme Kaio-sama, were able to create the powerful Vegito, and being in a complicated situation, he was able to access the Ultra Instinct. His power was amazing, but it wasn't enough to face him. That's right, the mountain of corpses began to increase, while the power of his enemy did not decrease in the slightest. Vegito would throw a powerful attack, which had not caused him any damage. But behind everyone, a powerful warrior began to appear. That's right, the true king of the whole had merged with its counterpart, just like the Guardians forming the Ultimate Warrior.
You forced me to merge. That means that your power's great, but right now I'll eliminate you.
Zeno Sama would try to eliminate him, but to his surprise, it'd been impossible for him to.
In that case, I'll beat the hell out of your life, you worm.
Both warriors began to exchange millions of blows all over the place, which only the warriors were able to see simple flashes. The battle for the first 34 minutes was very even, but when Zeno Sama wasn't familiar with the fight, his power was beginning to decrease. So Archon would begin to connect blows that were extremely powerful, which at one point of the battle even made the king fall completely without being able to do anything.
Millions of years ago, you're much more powerful, and we were the ones who increased our powers?
Archon, without any compassion, would stretch out one of his hands on Zeno Sama's face.
Good-for-nothing rulers always die.
Archon's powerful attack would be able to disintegrate Zeno Sama. Everyone else panicked, but Zeno Sama's essence was able to communicate with Daishinkan before disappearing completely. Daishinkan, I want you to send my friend Goku to another dimension, because he will be the warrior who avenges all this multiverse.
My lord, are you sure about what you're telling me? Son Goku's great potential, but to be able to eliminate this warrior, I'm afraid it's impossible for him.
Daishinkan, trust me. I know what I'm doing. The essence of the great Zeno Sama would completely vanish, while Archon began to approach each of those present. The gods and warriors who were left alive tried to flee, but Archon, with his simple pressure, was able to make them fall to the ground.
Do they even call themselves warriors? A true warrior prefers death rather than fleeing the battlefield, so they don't serve as warriors.
Archon, with his simple pressure, was able to make them explode to each one of them, while he began to approach Vegito, the fusion, in the same way he wasn't able to do anything.
I could tell they merged. How annoying. Only I must be the perfect warrior.
Archon, with a big red light, was able to get Goku and Vegeta back to normal, but both were with serious injuries all over their body.
Mr. Vegeta, Whis, Beerus, we will take the bait. Since I will send Mr. Goku to another dimension, he will have to take revenge on all of us. I never thought I'd be giving my life for the useless Goku, but I'll die happy knowing that Son Goku will be able to take revenge. You better take revenge, Kakarot. I'm giving you my life. I trust you.
Mr. Goku, don't forget, trust is also a problem, which can lead you to ruin in a battle, so improve in every area and avenge us. The trio of warriors launched time ago against Archon, while Daishinkan, with large part of his power, would begin to form a portal to another dimension, in which they would not be able to find Goku.
This dimension's perfect, since the most powerful warrior does not exceed the power of the Super Saiyan Phase 2. Mr. Goku, I want to grant you the knowledge required for you to exploit your full potential.
Daishinkan, with great mental power, was able to grant him all the Saiyan knowledge. No, Daishinkan, I want to keep fighting. I have family here.
That's impossible, since all of us will die as well as your family. So you better try to overcome your limits. The great Zeno Sama will put all his trust in you, Mr. Goku. We'll do the same.
Daishinkan, with a slight blow, was able to send Goku to another dimension while also joining the battle, which was completely useless to continue fighting.
It doesn't matter. They've done sent that worm. I swear I'll find him, and I plan to end every creation of this multiverse.
Archon, with a few moves, was able to send everyone's life. Except for Daishinkan, Archon would start to approach Daishinkan slowly while decreasing all his pressure.
Daishinkan, I'll give you a chance to survive. If you swear to serve me and make a blood deal with me, promise not to end your life. I need a servant.
Daishinkan would spit on Archon's face, which would make him angry, increasing a large part of his power, so his aura would rise all over the place, and the simple aura was able to carbonize Daishinkan, since only a few ashes of what was once one of the most powerful warriors of that multiverse had remained. Meanwhile, in a very different dimension, Goku had fallen in a kind of cave, but being in terrible condition, he wasn't able to do anything. Damn, I can't move any one of my bones. I have to hibernate for a few months to be able to recover. In this dimension, they find with some warriors called heroes who are qualified according to their ranking, being the F the lowest rank and S the highest rank, and several of these warriors were closing dungeons, which were usually of C, D, E ranks, and very few specialized warrior were able to enter A rank ranks. However, the protagonist of this world, named Sung, had been betrayed by his own companions. Staying in one of the most dangerous dungeons, even surpassing the danger level of an S rank, he was able to survive with the rare survival system, which sought to form a perfect warrior, and Sung had accepted each of the terms, so he would perform various activities daily to be able to complete his requirements, or he would be sent to a world full of giant monsters to be punished. Sung, not being from a family of high prestige, had to work to be able to survive because he wanted to cure his mother's disease and help his sister to become a powerful warrior. I don't feel like the double life I lead. I don't know what the dungeon's been, but my level hasn't stopped growing before I even know as the garbage of humanity by not having a high level. But they don't know the power I've achieved since that day. On his back, a guy of high prestige had arrived. That's right, to enter each of the dungeons, 6 warriors were required, no matter what rank they have. But the leader named Dog-Suk planned a maleficent plan against the 2 new members.
We'll have to end the life of those 2 useless ones so that the reward will be much greater for each of us.
And so it was, like the others, they sealed the exit, leaving the boss, who was a gigantic spider, against 2 warriors, which Dog-Suk thought they were weak, but Sun was able to face him. However, his vitality was dropping considerably. I don't think Sung's power is that great. He's even able to stand up to a C-rank boss on his own.
I can't trust myself, as my vitality is decreasing while my tiredness is increasing.
Sung, in an oversight, had been sending to fly, so using several of his recovery potions, he would use his maximum speed and power, with which he was able to finish with the powerful spider. After a few moments, the whole Dog-Suk squad would return, being a little surprised to realize how both had been able to survive and even had finished with the dungeon boss.
You newbie, we promised to grant you part of the profit, but before you join us, finish the damn Sung, so you'll do him a favor since he's only garbage of humanity.
The warrior would stand in front of Sung, intending to protect him. Sung, I just fought a C-rank boss. He must be exhausted. But the system which granted him daily missions would grant him the mission of ending the life of the entire Dog-Suk squad, which had left him surprised. I never intended to end someone else's life. I'm not... Before he was able to complete his sentence, a powerful attack which made him fall to the ground, because Sung seemed to be in a dream. But he'd get up, and after several moments, he would be able to finish each of the warriors, which left Dog-Suk amazed.
How's it possible you're able to finish off every one of my men? You must not be an F rank, but I'm not like them. I have much more power.
Dog-Suk would increase his musculature, throwing himself against Sung. But despite doing everything, Sung, with a quick movement, was able to neutralize him, and with a great kick was able to take off his head, which had left his partner surprised. He's much stronger now than when he faced the boss. I can't believe it. His power seems to have no limit. But as they were about to leave the dungeon, they felt an overwhelming power. Even the pressure that had been released was much greater than the double dungeon in which Sung had died. Maybe an S-rank dungeon? Or what is this pressure that my whole body feels? I'm not even able to move one of my limbs. Damn! I'll swear I'll annihilate you. You'll become the most powerful warrior, and I'll end your miserable life. The entire planet Earth of that dimension seemed to be destroyed due to an incredible power. But at the moment, Goku was able to react, realizing how his pressure, he was almost able to end the lives of 2 people he had in front of him. Oh, I'm sorry. I just remembered how miserable I ended with all my loved ones. Multiverse? What are you talking about? I understand nothing. While the 3 warriors were leaving the dungeon, Goku would explain to each of the warriors how his life had been in this multiverse, just like he was not a Saiyan warrior. That means you're able to beat even the S-rank bosses. I don't know what you mean by S-rank bosses, but the power I feel from the beings of these places are very low, and that'll be very detrimental to my workout since I don't have any powerful companions. I don't know if what you're saying is true, but what do you think if you and I train? I want to show you the power that you brag about so much. It's okay, although I don't plan to use all my power since I would be able to end your life. I want to check that out, Goku. Meanwhile, in the multiverse of Zeno Sama, the fusion had searched for Goku through all the voids never traveled before, being impossible to find his whereabouts, so instantly, Furious would begin to carry a large sphere of power, with which he'd planned to destroy all the multiverse in a single attack.
I'm not interested in ending this multiverse. I have the knowledge to transport myself from multiverse, so no matter where you hide, this great attack will be able to end your miserable life.
Archon would throw such a devastating power, so when it spread through the multiverse, it had been divided into 4 great powers, which, when united again, annihilated everything in its path, every planet and life form, leaving everything absolutely dark.
Ha 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 ha! Damn worm, you must already be in the afterlife. It'd be better to go to another multiverse since I have absolutely nothing to do here.
Archon would begin to teleport between timelines, until he would reach the neighboring multiverse, which also had 12 universes, but his warriors were a little more powerful.
Finally, some warriors more powerful than the useless Zen. feel like crushing everything that comes across my front. Returning to the dimension, Goku and Sun had arrived at a desolate place, in which Sun would begin to warm up to face Goku.
So you're thinking of stretching your muscles a little. In that case, I'll do that too.
Goku would begin to stretch without trusting himself, began remembering the words of Whis. He would access the base state beyond a god. Goku and Sun were in a little battle, so at the moment, Sun's mission would appear in his system. Endure a combat against Son Goku for at least 5 minutes or you will be punished. Just bear it. It's the first time he's told me since I always have to finish off my other enemies. How strange. Is he as powerful as he claims to be? Sun was the first to attack, so at the moment, he'd begin to grant him several blows, which Goku dodged with incredible ease. Due to the great difference in powers, Sun would use a sword this time, but the serious result completely the same.
Damn. My tiredness is starting to show, as I'm not able to move at the same speed as the start of the battle. Is that all? I thought you'd be much more powerful. There's no point fighting with you, as I think I'll increase my power better by training alone.
Don't underestimate me, damn it! Sun, with fury, had pounced against him, but the result would be completely the same. Goku, at the moment, with a quick movement, would be able to grant him a slight blow on his neck, which was able to put him out of combat. Meanwhile, at the hero's headquarters, a very powerful warrior of S rank was training very hard, since they had an important mission in a few months, which was to visit an island, where most of their bosses were S rank. On the other hand, in the office where Wu was, checking Sun's file because on 2 occasions, he'd been able to survive, while the others who were executed his rank were not able to get out alive. I'm sure that Sun, he keeps a powerful secret he doesn't want us to find out, but I promise to get to the bottom of this. In the city, one of the dungeons had been created, but this was of B rank, so even several inmates were called and they were able to close the dungeon successfully. Their sentence will be reduced, but they were accompanied by one of the beings of the office.
That guy looks really bad to me. His power's pathetic, but his aura has the blood of thousands of innocent lives.
Everyone started to enter the dungeon. Even one of the teachers who had gone as a guide in the double dungeon and lost his arm in a tragic event. Sung, you've changed so much since that day. You seem like a completely different person. You even look much more powerful than before. Yeah, it's not much of a teacher. I've just been trying a lot harder. When they reached the inside of the dungeon, they had separated into groups, but after a few minutes, several screams were heard, so they all went in search of the second group and realized how the chief of the condemned had cruelly ended his life. And seconds after ending the life of the professor, Sung was able to stop him with his sword.
What's wrong with you, damn it? How'd you manage to end the lives of those 3 people?
In case you didn't know, those 3 people have ended the lives of many more people, and I haven't had the slightest regret, so there's nothing that makes me regret anything. Goku would get angry, but Sung would ask to fight the guy. Goku, I want to defeat him. You don't have to get involved.
For me, if you want to fight both together, because even if you join forces, you can never beat a B rank like I am.
Both began to clash their fists at incredible speeds, which didn't even seem to have a clear winner. But the warrior with a quick movement was able to cut off Sung's leg, with a technique that was able to disappear his presence completely. Now you won't be able to do anything anymore, since you don't possess the necessary power to face me, damn worm. Sun would quickly heal, which left his enemy very amazed. I never super that warrior possesses healing energy. Now, this is very strange, but it doesn't matter. I'll slice him into pieces. His enemy would quickly head towards Sung, but to his surprise, the presence of Sung would rise up in an incredible way, being able to observe a powerful warrior in his aura, which had left him in a terrible panic, which Sung took advantage of to end his life once and for all. Apparently there's scum like you in this top brass. All the warriors were able to seal that dungeon, so they had reported in the guard that the 3 prisoners attacked at the same time and caught their guardian off guard. However, for Wu, it was much more and more strange. Yet another dungeon, in which even a rank B loses his life. That rank F seems to be without any scratch. On the other hand, very far away, Archon was able to take to the next multiverse successfully, but at the moment of entering, he was a little amazed to realize that one of the protectors of the multiverse had an identical appearance to Son Goku. Are you Son Goku? Well, I thought I'd finished with you in that big explosion.
You're confusing yourself. I've never seen you, but if you have bad intentions in this multiverse, I have no alternative but to end your life.
Why are you into my life? Don't make me laugh.
Archon, being about to release all his power, would be surprised by a powerful blow, in which he, on that occasion, was able to make him fall to the ground with a few wounds.
Ugh, that blow hurt me, but how is it possible that you have all that power? I understand. Just like the existing warriors of the two twin universes, that must be that universe. That's why there exists a warrior smaller than that dam.
Archon would recover from the blows, so a great battle would start all over the place. Such a battle had been felt even by the queen of everything of that multiverse. What the hell is going on? I can feel the power of Kakarot's fighting against a warrior whose power's not left behind. Archon was able to connect an effective blow to Kakarot's face, making him fall to the ground, being dragged for a few meters. It hurt me too much. How's he able to hit me with such power? What is it that you are?
I'm the union of the Super Six renegade gods, and I have finished with the multiverse, the unitless Zeno Sama, and I want to fight with very powerful warriors.
You've destroyed an entire multiverse. I'm not gonna let the same thing happen to this multiverse. So I have to sacrifice my life. I'm gonna end your existence.
You must have an amazing power to be able to stop me, and unfortunately, you don't possess that power.
Kakarot increased his power to the maximum, with which he was able to cause multiple disasters all over the place. That event even surprised the powerful Mikoshin, because Kakarot only used his maximum power when fighting with her. What's going on? I have to go immediately. A warrior who even puts Kakarot in trouble has appeared in our multiverse. Mikoshin, with great speed, would begin to go to the place of the battle. At the moment of arriving, was amazed to realize how two gigantic powers were colliding with each other. That's right, the power of Archon didn't lose against the power of the mighty Kakarot.
Dragon Divine Destroyer!
Kakarot's powerful attack would be sent towards Archon, which would change his gaze a little.
It's time to take this battle seriously, since I have much more multiverses to destroy.
Archon, with his great power, was able to hold the attack of one of his hands, and as if it were something simple, he was able to disintegrate it.
That's the look I wish to put on you, to see your hopes destroyed, and your look changed to despair. I love to see that look on my opponents.
But a great golden-colored light had prostrated itself in front of Archon quickly. I am the queen of everything of this multiverse. We understand each other with powerful subjects. So tell me, what do you want? If you want, you can even live in this multiverse.
It seems like a good idea, but only if I become the king at all, since you're not good for that.
What did you say, you worm? Be thankful I didn't end your life this moment. But to everyone's surprise, Mikoshin was brutally beaten, being sent to fly to a planet, destroying most of the place. While she was trying to stand up, large amounts of blood were coming out of her whole body. How was he able to hit Mikoshin-sama with that power? I wasn't able to see anything. As Archon started to approach Mikoshin, Kakarot would try to stop him, but an amazing pressure that did not allow him to move any of his bones.
In a continuous moment with you, I'm not gonna let this stupid one disrespect me.
Archon, as he approached the maximum, increased in an amazing way. But to everyone's surprise, Mikoshin, with his maximum power, was able to stand up, which even left the powerful Archon amazed. I'm not going to give my life for my multiverse without a fight, so if I have to fight until my last breath, I will. Mikoshin would throw a powerful blow at Archon's face, but at the moment of making contact, all the bones of his arms were shattered, because Archon's resistance was incredible. Even his skin seemed the most resistant steel of all the multiverse.
You have great courage. That's not enough to beat me. You're really not qualified to be a queen at all. I don't know how the hell they chose you.
Archon, without wasting the time of a few blows, was able to humiliate Mikoshin, while Kakarot did absolutely everything possible to free himself from the pressure. But Archon's words completely finished him.
Don't try hard. I know you think you can break the pressure like Mikoshin did, but it'll only use 20% of my power, unlike yours, which used 60%, so it's practically impossible to free yourself.
I'm sorry, Kakarot. He wasn't able to protect this whole multiverse. I hope we can meet again in the other world. Archon would throw a great attack at it, which had reduced the powerful queen of everything of that multiverse to mere atoms.
On the other hand, this crazy mug was right. I think I'll stay as the king of the whole in this multiverse to raise my battle power much more.
The pressure was about to end Kakarot's life, so Archon would make her disappear. But Kakarot, despite the fact that his power had greatly declined, launched the attack out of the fury of seeing the queen die completely in front of his eyes.
I swear I'll kill you. I swear! One more worm that wants to die. I'll send you to the other world knowing that your old multiverse will become a hell.
Archon was able to carbonize Kakarot with his simple aura, just as he had done with Daishinken. Meanwhile, Goku was very thoughtful. How can I raise my power more effectively? Daishinken and Zeno Sama had trusted me like all my other friends. I can't let them down.
Goku, how about we start getting involved in higher level dungeons, so we'll be able to increase our battle level much more.
You're right, but since I'm not able to feel the power of those bosses, I'll just follow you. Both warriors began to enter multiple dungeons, being able to defeat several bosses which were very powerful, beginning to be recognized throughout Japan.
I'll have to talk to Sung, as he has started to acquire some good fame, and this may be catastrophic for the Heroes Guild.
Wu was able to observe Sung walking with a very peculiar warrior, but without taking it into account, he would speak.
I've been able to notice that your powers drastically increased since you were able to survive the double dungeon. Is this a second awakening?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm still the same.
Don't the Hero Guild want to join? We promised to pay them well and offer them A-ranked dungeons.
No thanks, we're on our own. And we're not looking for C-ranked dungeons, we're looking for S-ranked dungeons.
I've not asked for your opinion. For that simple lack of respect, I'll give you a beating.
The secretary of the A-rank guild would start awarding several blows to Goku, but in his surprise, none of his blows were able to reach him. But upon observing Goku's cold gaze, he would fall to his knees.
This is incredible fear that I feel. Even with the S-rank bosses, I didn't feel this fear. It's something amazing. I'm sorry that I'll die.
You better leave, since I don't plan to give you another chance again. Wu would leave while Goku and Sun were both in front of a dungeon, which was said to say that it was of a special level. So at the time of entering that place, meanwhile in the Tower of Heroes, the general named Choi was talking about the mysterious island, in which even the most powerful heroes of S-rank were defeated, including Choi.
Damn! After so many months, I still remember that damn day. We weren't able to do anything against it. What secrets does that island hide?
I appreciate your dedication to be on a mission, and I trust that this occasion will be very different. We've trained with a lot of enthusiasm in recent months.
That's right, my lord. This time we'll return with the victory.
Meanwhile, Goku and Sun, at the moment of arriving to a dungeon, Sun was surprised because he was able to return to the same place where everything would start for him. That's right, all the statues were found again, while the largest statue would form a huge smile all over his place.
Apparently, you've been able to become very powerful. This is amazing. Do you like our system?
Damn, how did we get to this place? I'm sure this wasn't the path to the dungeon we were headed.
You are correct, but we wanted to meet your new friend. Since his power is not at all common, he's even able to defeat infernal beings and overcome the S-rank with ease. So I want him to explain to me where he comes from and what he is, why he is not human.
So apparently this was a trap, but I have nothing to hide from a piece of stone that's not capable of doing absolutely anything to me.
Watch your words. Because my power is so great, I'm able to turn you into simple minced meat from just one of my movements.
I want to see that, since you're not able to emanate any bit of my energy. The statue, despite its size, had moved at a great speed, granting a blow to Goku. But to his surprise, Goku, despite being hundreds of times smaller, was able to stop the blow with only one of his hands. Such a big size, but despite that, your strength's not a big deal. You've nothing to offer.
Don't want to be too smart, because in my possession I have the ability to summon Antares, one of the infernals and the king of dragons. You wouldn't be able to do anything against him.
Apparently you're not understanding me. Nothing, and no one in this world is capable of facing me, since his power is extremely low.
Apparently you are very confident, In that case, I want to see that you are capable. Antares, king of the dragons and leader of the infernals, appears.
Of a large red portal, his power that was even capable of ending thousands of S ranks in a single movement, it was possible to observe an imposing warrior that began to leave the portal. While even his appearance was capable of intimidating any warrior, but with Goku, the same did not happen.
I have been summoned. That means that the power of this guy is something great.
That warrior, without warning, was able to connect a powerful blow to Goku's stomach, which, in a long time, had not suffered even the slightest damage. That hurt me a little. Really, what he said. It's true, no matter what power I possess, if I trust myself, my body becomes extremely fragile. Goku, to give a better battle to his opponent, would begin to raise his power to the powerful Super Saiyan Phase 2, which distorted the entire place where they were. The king of the demons, Antares, was able to grant the first cash to Goku. So Goku in Super Saiyan Phase 2 would begin to exchange multiple blows, which on this occasion Sung was not able to see absolutely anything, since the difference in powers was overwhelming. That's right, the simple pressure was not able to make Sung move freely, so the statue instantly would throw a powerful energy attack from his eyes. But Goku, like a flash, was able to move in front of Sung. I won't allow anyone to get hurt in this world. I wasn't able to protect my multiverse, so in this world I intend to be the protector. Goku with only one of his hands was able to deflect the great power. Goku with a great determination would stare at Sung. I don't want you to get hurt, but I don't want you to worry about me. I'm capable of ending these wretches, but I can't fight if I have to protect you. No, Goku, I can defend myself. Fight with total freedom. I assure you that nothing will happen to me. No, Sung, you better get out of this place. Goku, by raising his power a little, was able to open a portal in a very distant place from that dungeon, so with a slight attack of compressed air, he was able to get Sung to enter the portal, which would close quickly. Now, if I could fight with all my power, without anyone getting hurt, these will be some excellent workouts to be able to push my body to the limit.
Don't think I'm easy to deal with. It was better that between the two of you fight against me, since you won't be able to do anything against me.
I agree with you, that with the power I possess I won't be able to do anything against you, but what do you think about this power here? Goku would change his hair color to a red one, but not only the color of his hair changed, as the pressure emanating from all over the place was amazing. So much so that Antares was forced to prostrate one knee so as not to fall completely to the ground.
Damn it, what is that pressure? Not even the other kings possess this pressure. Who the hell is this warrior?
What's going on? Are you not able to stand up with that simple pressure? And this is not all, since I still have 2 more transformations.
Apparently, I have to use all my power. After hundreds of years, a worthy opponent has arrived.
Antares would begin to expel all his power, with which he released little after level to much more of an astonishment to try to intimidate his opponent a little. However, all that power was nothing compared to the power that Archon, the destroyer of the Son Goku multiverse, released, since that if he was a powerful warrior capable of even intimidating warriors at the level of a king completely. I have to be able to become much more powerful. In this place, there are no powerful warriors to whom I'm able to become more powerful. Goku would be taken out of his thoughts instantly because in front of him, a gigantic explosion was generated, which even made the whole outside rumble. So the hero's headquarters was put on alert, calling one of the most powerful heroines, and above all, she was able to finish off S-rank monsters despite being a woman. Apparently a damn monster of S-rank, or even an S-rank advanced, has appeared. I, as one of the most powerful women in the HQ, I have to be able to annihilate it. That beautiful woman would begin to enlist everything to go in search of that dungeon, which even her power was capable of being felt to the outside. Meanwhile, Sung was very worried because in the same way he had felt all that incredible trembling. Damn it, even if Goku's very powerful, he won't be able to beat that warrior. His power is on another level. But was surprised when on the horizon a big explosion would be created, although it was really the body of Antares, which due to the big explosion by Goku had created a big crater all over the place. That explosion caught the attention of all the other heroes, who went to the place just like Sung, but to their surprise they were able to observe a warrior standing up after that big blow. This is amazing. That guy must not be in S rank.
since even an S rank would have been exterminated by that explosion.
I agree with you. That stamina possessed by the warrior is amazing. But who was the monster that sent this warrior flying with such power?
Instantly in front of everyone, a reddish-haired warrior stood in front of everyone, which Sung would immediately recognize since Goku had that transformation to confront him. So, you really held back in our combat, since that guy's power surpasses me by 100 times, and you, with your transformation, are able to cope with it.
This is impossible. As the wretch of Sung, he was able to ally with himself someone as powerful as he is. If the system continues on his side, he'll be a danger even for the monarchs. No, damn it. Well, I'm the king of demons, one of the most dangerous monarchs. This can't be happening to me against a simple human.
Apparently you understand nothing. You've never had a chance against me, because your power's pathetic compared to all my power.
Antares, with a great anger, would throw himself against Son Goku, who began to exchange multiple blows. But despite using all his power, he wasn't able to grant him any exchange of blows. On the part of the heroes, they were able to not see anything happen. Even the most powerful hero was able to see a few flashes, but he wouldn't be able to withstand any single blow from either subject.
I can't believe the power these two warriors emanate. I feel like their simple pressure is capable of crushing us.
That's right, while the battle was getting longer, the colliding pressures of both subjects increased, which, even for the heroes, it was difficult to stand, let alone the normal inhabitants. Goku had realized this, so with a big blow, he was able to send Antares flying several meters, being dragged, and at the moment, he would stretch out both hands, creating a powerful energy field, being able to warriors all over the people who had no difficulty in observing that great combat. Goku's my partner, and yet I'm not able to assimilate the power he possesses. How much power is he hiding? Who was the warrior who was able to destroy his entire multiverse?
Antares, I think it's your name. I've already got bored of playing with you. I've tried to master and assimilate the power of a Saiyan god completely, but you're no help.
Damn worm. You mean to tell me that you only have been using me? I won't allow you to mock a monarch of the underworld, you worm!
Antares would begin to collect too much energy in his whole body, with which even the extortions all over the place were created. But from Goku's point of view, the power that the warrior was not able to be enough to help him raise much more power. So Goku, at an incredible speed, was able to be a few centimeters away, and as if he were a wild animal, his hand would enter Antares' body, so he would take out his heart. Antares' power would get out of control.
It was a terrible decision, human. With my uncontrolled energy, I'll cause a huge explosion of all my power. And nothing, and no one will be able to survive to 100 kilometers.
These present who heard that saying by the monster began to flee uncontrollably. However, the Guild of Heroes was still in the same place.
If that's what he said is true, even if we use the high-speed airplanes, we would never be able to get away so fast from this explosion. Even the crash slingshot would be able to shoot us down.
But everyone was surprised when they heard the laughter of that warrior.
Oh, don't make me laugh. Only 100 kilometers? I thought you'd be able to destroy this whole planet.
You're giving me to understand that you're able to withstand that explosion. You're a liar. No one's able to withstand an explosion from a monarch.
That happens because they don't know me yet. But I'm able to withstand this explosion. He even has much more powerful explosions.
You have great guts to be on the verge of death. And I'm sure you won't be able to withstand my explosion.
Sir, what do you think's going to happen? We try to run away, or we stay in this place?
Just as you said. If we run away, no matter how fast we do it, we'll be overtaken one way or another. But the attitude of that warrior amazes me.
The power of Antares would rise suddenly, and at the moment a gigantic explosion would be present all over the place. That big explosion was reaching all the other heroes, but Goku, with just stretching out one of his hands, was able to evaporate everything around him, which left all the other heroes surprised, even Sung. If I hadn't seen this with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it. A warrior who's able to possess all this power. It's amazing. That great explosion would last for about 2 minutes, in which no warrior could be observed. But among all the flames of that explosion, he was able to visualize a victorious warrior with several of his clothes torn. Ugh, but I did raise the dust of that useless good-for-nothing. I'll have to use another of my suits. Luckily, Daishinkan left me several of the same. The heroes at the moment of approaching Goku weren't able to see anything, since Goku at an amazing speed would disappear from the place along with Sung, who, when they arrived a slightly quieter place, began to talk.
Hey, I thought we were friends. Why'd you hold back when you fought me? I'm sorry, but I thought you'd be more powerful and I didn't want to be caught off guard. I'm really sorry. Yeah, that hurt. But I promise I'll become very powerful to be able to give you a good battle and even help beat that guy who destroyed your multiverse. Speaking of which, I think I'll leave several weeks or even months since I have to become much more powerful. I have to be able to end that guy. Sure thing, Goku. I understand your point of view, but remember that you'll always be welcome in my home. And where are you planning to go? As far as I was able to realize in this place, there are also more planets, so I plan to exploit this whole universe in search of warriors of great powers. I have to be prepared. I understand, Goku. Hope you're going to do well in your new training, and I'll be waiting for you when you come back for another combat. Of course. Then I'm leaving. Take care of yourself. Goku, with his great speed, would leave the place, traveling all over the universe in search of a warrior powerful enough to help him increase his power. Meanwhile, in the multiverse that was once of Mikoshin, one could observe Archon, who was very thoughtful on the throne of the Queen of the Whole. Where the hell did that Saiyan go? I don't have to leave him alive, since even one of those who reach the fusion is a Saiyan, and I know that the level they're capable of is reaching, as long as they have their revenge. Archon would immediately be taken out of his thoughts from a powerful attack, which had been thrown from his blind spot. However, Archon, possessing the reflections of 6 super gods, was able to dodge it at the last moment. Who are you? Do you want to die? Don't you know who I am? We're the most powerful warriors of the 2 most powerful multiverse. We understand that you'll be able to destroy 2 multiverses, take down their rulers, so we've been given the mission to get your head. I appreciate the information. I didn't know there were more multiverses, and above all, that they were the most powerful. It'll be ideal to destroy them completely. Don't say stupid things. Today will be the day of your death, so you won't be able to do anything against us. I want them to prove that to me, because every warrior who's prostrated himself before me has told me the same thing, and they haven't been able to defeat me. We're the unbeatable duo of the 5 multiverses. Even among the kings at all, we were respected, since no being was able to face us when we fought together. Frank and Okama lunged at Archon both at the same time, but to the surprise of both of them, Archon with one of his hands was able to hold Frank's fist, and with his tail he was able to grab Okama by the neck. And with great power, he was able to make them crash to the ground, causing a huge explosion. I can see that they have incredible power, but being a duo which has never had too many battles, they don't know how to fight. For that reason, they'll die. Damn it! How's he able to read our every move? Heavenly Destroyer! An incredible pressure in the form of a dragon was heading towards Archon, but Archon, with raising his aura to the maximum, was able to pulverize that fire attack in the form of a dragon, which would leave both gods surprised. He was able to disintegrate my powerful Heavenly Destroyer attack. I'm really facing a monster. I agree with you, mate. Your attack was the necessary power to destroy one multiverse in its entirety, and this warrior's been able to disintegrate it without any difficulty. I hope that's not all his power, because this time I want to have a lot more fun than last time. I have time without stretching my muscles completely. The 3 warriors began to exchange blows. At the beginning of the battle, Archon was being overcome, reaching several blows, which would cause him great pain. The duo, with a great blow, was able to send Archon to fly to a planet, destroying it completely. Archon would recover from the blow in one of the asteroids that were in outer space. Ugh, the hits of those 2 hurt too much. I really have to use the Spirit Devourer. Archon all over the place would spread a great dark power, without his enemies noticing, which even began to rob them of their energy little by little. But being minimal, they didn't want to notice immediately. Archon, the more the battle went on, began to take the advantage, being able to grant critical blows to both warriors, which even felt like their power decreased. Damn, my power is at 65% of my full capacity. I don't know what's going on, and in every exchange of blows I feel his pressure increase. Damn, my power has decided to 54%. I feel like a strange energy devours my whole essence completely. After you all die, it will not matter anymore that I hide them from you. However confident, you will die, as I've been able to activate my spiritual rapture technique. Damn,
For that reason, our powers have started to decrease considerably.
A great attack was able to evaporate all the negative energy, but it was already too late, since Archon, as if it were a lightning bolt, would prostrate himself in front of both gods, connecting them with hundreds of blows which didn't cause great damage superficially, but inside his body, the energy veins were completely destroyed.
It's time to finish with the two good-for-nothing bastards. But don't worry, because very soon I'll send your rulers to keep you company.
Archon would throw a powerful attack against both warriors, which, with all the power they had left, responded equally to that great attack. But the difference in powers were overwhelming, since Archon's attack would quickly take the advantage against the duo of the gods, which, upon receiving such a powerful attack, were completely disintegrated, but Archon would still fall to the ground vomiting large amounts of blood.
Ugh! The power I absorbed in this battle was too much. I feel like my body's reached its limit. The power of these worms were really great.
Archon would leave to one of the rooms of the palace, in which he would begin to meditate to control all the power he had stolen, trying to assimilate it with his own power while both rulers of the whole had observed everything that happened. Both kings of the whole were very thoughtful, since that warrior was able to defeat the destructive duo, which had never known defeat.
This is bad. The power of our warriors was almost compared to our power, and if both of them fought together, they were able to put us in big trouble.
I agree with you. That guy's power seems to not be fall on the levels of the laws of power, since he's able to overcome his power if he were able to do something simple.
We'll have to look for reinforcements or win, because if you and I face that guy, we'll be eliminated just as Mikoshin and Zeno have died at his hands.
Meanwhile, in the infinite space of another multiverse, Goku continued with his exhaustive search to be able to find the powerful warrior, being in vain since he wasn't able to find any warrior capable of withstanding a single one of his blows to his maximum power. So Goku would arrive at the planet.
If I'm not able to find a powerful warrior, I won't be able to become more powerful, and I have to avenge my multiverse.
But all over that space, the silhouette of the great priest Daishinkan would form.
Mr. Goku, I knew that a moment like this would come, so I have left a little of my essence to be able to give you the following indications.
But Daishinkan, how's it possible you're in this multiverse? You gave your life for me. I can't forgive myself.
Don't worry, Mr. Goku. I'm sure you'll be able to make us come back. But this is the only divine essence, so I don't have that much time.
Daishinkan Sama, my powers become stagnant. I can't find any powerful beings to help me increase my power.
Mr. Goku, I've given him the divine knowledge, every secret, every rumor, absolutely everything about how you can break each of your limiters, so you don't need any training partner.
Are you sure about what you're telling me, Daishinkan? We Saiyans need battles to the death to be able to increase our powers more effectively.
Mr. Goku, you're our only hope. I wouldn't lie to you, but from now on, it's a matter of how you use the knowledge I've granted you to surpass your limits.
Daishinkan's essence would vanish all over that universe in a great golden light, and instantly hundreds of golden particles quickly spread all over the place, entering Goku's body, so he had even received a small part of the priest's power.
I swear I'll bring them back to life one more time. Those renegade gods will repent. I'll give them a punishment worse than death.
Goku was able to enter the deepest part of his mind, so he was able to realize all the knowledge that the great priest had granted him. That's right, Goku was able to discover every secret, so that the Saiyan race is able to rise to the top of all the other warriors. Meanwhile, on planet Earth, Sung, in the same way, would continue with his great training and finishing with bosses of multiple dungeons, to be able to overcome his limits and grant a great battle to Son Goku.
I have to become much stronger. I need that elixir to help my father, and I also need an amazing power to fight on par with Goku.
Instantly in front of Sung, a key would appear, hinting that it was the mission of a powerful dungeon. As were there, the dungeons were hidden from all the other warriors, and only those chosen by the system were able to have access.
This dungeon must possess a very powerful boss, but I have to learn to defeat even death, and punish my body to be hit to the limit.
Sung would enter the dungeon, so at the moment, several soldiers appeared, but the hardness of their armor was of another level, so Sung would have a hard time beating these warriors despite having a much more resistant physique, but with a little difficulty he was able to beat each one of them.
Ugh. If those were the simple soldiers, I can't believe the power the boss must have. But I have faith that I can defeat him.
Sung would enter, so at the moment of entering, a large throne could be observed. And at the moment, a powerful warrior, which even his name was in red. That's right, Sung had in front of him the powerful commander Igris. So Sung, without thinking twice, had launched himself against him, but the difference of powers was abysmal, since the commander was able to grant him several effective blows, while Sung wasn't able to do anything. I'm sure that my physical strength must have increased exponentially, so I plan to use my fist to finish off this warrior. But the commander, being honorable, would still leave all his weapons, so he'd planned to finish it with his simple hands. Don't underestimate me. Sung was about to pounce. He was surprised by a powerful blow to his stomach, which had caused him incredible pain. Sung, he would recover from the blow hardly, while Igris would stare at him. This wretch has an amazing power. If I get more goals with that power, then I'll surely die. I'll have to be able to beat him in the next few minutes. Sung would be taken out of his thoughts because the commander would begin to bring Sung down. With hundreds of blows, which Sung this time wasn't able to do anything, Sung would be thrown with a great blow to the throne that was in the place. Will this be the end of me? Won't I be able to save my mother? Can't I have a rematch with my friend Goku? No, I'm not allowed to lose. The commander would brandish his sword, so he would try to end Sung's life. However, Sung with great armor was able to resist that powerful sword, and at the moment, Sung with great anger was able to summon his dagger. So at the moment, he was able to stick half of his dagger in the face of Igris, and Sung, without stopping, lashed out, making him able to collide with the wall of the place. While Igris was trying to defend himself, it'd be impossible for him, since he had underestimated his enemy. Sung, as if he were a beast, would lash out several times against Commander Igris. So far, he stopped moving completely, and Sung's power would begin to grow in a precipitous way. That's right, his reward for finishing with Commander Igris had been amazing. He had even received the Necromancer god ability, being able to summon an army of undead. Sung would approach Igris, but when he was about to resurrect him, several warriors appeared, so they started attacking Sung. Right now I can't fight with freedom. My tiredness is reaching the max. I'll have to use teleportation stone. Sung, when trying to use the teleportation stone, had received a blow, so he'd be thrown to the ground, but the instant he was about to be sliced into two, the system itself would teleport him to the punishment zone, not fulfilling his daily mission. For the first time, I'm grateful to be sent to the punishment zone. Several giant centipedes began to attack him, but for Sung, this wasn't anything, because his power had grown in an incredible way. So a few simple centipedes weren't able to achieve anything against him, and after 4 hours that Sung's punishment lasted, he'd return, being able to realize as the warriors had no life. That's right, they were summoned by magicians, so Sung would quickly begin to finish with each of the magicians. Meanwhile, outside the Heroes Guild, they found it very thoughtful, knowing that such a powerful warrior was loose on the planet.
We shouldn't worry about him, since that warrior's been able to save us, and that speaks well for him.
I know, my lord, but we can't be so sure that it always be like this. I'm sure that warrior's capable of beating thousands of S-rank bosses without any effort.
I'm sure that warrior's the one who accompanied with Sung. I can't be wrong, since his appearance was only identical, with the color of his hair being different.
All this would go through Wu's mind, going back to Sung. This one had been able to wipe out all the mages, so he would approach all the fallen warriors. I'll try my new acquainted power. Resurrection! Serve me and follow me! All the warriors would stand up, making a bow towards their king. That's right, at this moment Sung was considered the king of necromancers, so he'd approach towards Commander Igris. If I can resurrect Igris, that'd be great help for the great battle that's coming all over this place, since the war against that warrior is very dangerous. Sung would try to bring Igris to life, failing the first two occasions. However, in the third attempt, he was able to bring to life the powerful commander Igris, who would be in charge of leading all the troops of Sung. We're ready. I'm waiting for the day to face you again, Goku. Meanwhile, Goku had been meditating for about 3 months, in which his power had risen in a great way. However, at the moment of opening his eyes, a gigantic power would be perceived by the entire multiverse. even the power would be so great that he'd been able to break the barriers between multiverses. So both kings were able to feel that very powerful essence except for Archon, who was receiving each of his wounds in a special room.
That power could be felt. It's gigantic power. Where's it located?
Apparently, it's the multiverse, which never received a ruler because the power level was too weak, and no one wanted to take over.
We have to go immediately, because that warrior, he may possess the power we need to face this miserable guy.
Both rulers began to move to that multiverse. However, the closer they got, the pressure was much stronger, so that several of their bones were completely destroyed due to the simple pressure that Goku's power generated.
Who's that? I feel his power is capable of destroying several of my bones, and that shouldn't be possible. I'm the ruler of the whole.
Apparently, the warrior we're going to possesses a vast power, with which he is capable of making us even the most powerful rulers tremble.
When they arrived, however, they were able to observe how a warrior expelled an amazing power. However, he didn't cause any disaster around the place, which left both rulers amazed.
This is amazing. He's able to master Absolute Control Zero, a technique that's only able to make the pressure drop on similar beings of the similar level of his. For that reason, this pathetic multiverse doesn't suffer any damage.
Goku was able to channel all his power, but his body needed an evolution. So Goku was able to access his most primitive form of the Ozarus. That's right, but Goku, having all the required knowledge, had been able to adapt to the form of Super Saiyan 4 so as not to have to transform into an Ozaru completely. And at the moment of completing his transformation, the powerful warrior could be observed with a silver fur all over his body, which made him look like an angelic being. Goku, at the moment of a quick movement, was able to bow down beneath both gods, making him a much bigger pressure drop, which on this occasion was able to make them kiss the ground.
Dang it, what's going on? Was it the power he was releasing all his power? I can't believe the power this warrior possesses.
Who are you guys? I can see that they have the power of a king running through their veins. Do they want to conquer this multiverse?
Of course not. We're looking for allies to be able to take down that guy who was able to take down two complete multiverses, Mikoshin and Xenos, although you may not recognize the names not having left your multiverse.
The power of Goku on this occasion would shoot up in an incredible way. That's right, the power that Goku had released was even able to shake the entire planet Earth. From the planet, one could observe in space a gigantic Ozaru of an imposing silver color.
Goku's power has risen in a great way. Even though he's trained with a lot of enthusiasm, I doubt I'll be able to cope with that gigantic power.
My lord, a giant monkey's formed all over the sky of planet Earth, while a great pressure begins to fall on the entire planet Earth.
In outer space, Goku's power seemed to have no limits. That's right, Goku remembered how all his friends in multiverse were destroyed by Archon, and when he found out that he had already been destroyed in another multiverse, his anger was evident.
Archon, I swear I won't forgive you to finishing that multiverse of my friend Zeno Sama, and much less with other multiverses. I want your head.
Both rulers realized that the war they had in front of him was the last survival of the multiverse of Zeno Sama.
Please, reduce your pressure. We're about to die. Even being kings at all, we're not able to assimilate the pressure that you've been able to release.
Goku would control himself by reducing his pressure to the lowest level he could, so that both rulers were able to move with tranquility.
Apparently you're the kings of the whole of the two multiverses.
How do you know all that?
The great priest Daishenkin's given me the necessary knowledge to be able to overcome all my limits, as well as all the knowledge about the multiverses.
Understand. That's why your power is so great. You've been able to unleash all the potential that the Saiyan race possesses, and its power is never ceasing to grow. You've harnessed it.
You're absolutely right, and all this power has been achieved in order to finish off Archon. I don't want you guys to get in my way.
That's impossible. Even if you're very powerful, we have to attack in a group, since even the most powerful warriors of our multiverse were defeated.
I said no. I don't mind leaving my life on the battlefield, but I plan to take that wretch to the other world along with me.
Meanwhile, in the Mikoshin multiverse, Archon would come out of that dimension, realizing how much more tense the air was.
What a weird feeling. Could it be that the battle that I had against these two insects? My power's amazing. Even after months, you could still feel my essence.
Archon was confident, because he'd been able to assimilate the powers of both warriors completely, so he was ready to end both kings completely. It's time to end all the rulers of these multiverses. I don't want there to be any being of divine energy. I want to be the only ruler of the 4 multiverses. Meanwhile, Goku would return to planet Earth encountering Sung.
Sung, how long has it been since I saw you? Apparently you've become very powerful.
Thanks, but even though I tried my best, I won't be able to give you a big battle as your power has risen impressively.
Sung, it's time. I have to face the warrior that ended my multiverse. But before I go, I want you to become much more powerful so that you're able to protect this entire planet.
Goku, please, let me help you. I promised I would fight with you by your side. I want to be of help to you. I've just been a hindrance. Goku would move closer to Sung.
You were never a hindrance. I remember the day that we met in that dungeon. I didn't think that I could make friends again. And because you're my friend, I don't want anything to happen to you since the battle that broke out is of an atomic level.
I understand, Goku, and I'm sorry for being so weak and not being able to help you avenge your multiverse.
Don't worry, this battle will be mine. And in order for you to be able to protect this entire planet, I'll grant you 2% of all my power.
Goku would grant him 2% of his power, so Sung's body would suffer great damage.
It's an amazing power.
Goku would leave, starting to release his power to open multiple dimensions and reach the Mukoshin multiverse. Goku, along with both kings of the whole, began to cross the portal to the ancient multiverse of Zeno Sama. However, Sung, having trained with Son Goku, was able to move through the portal with his shadow element, not being perceived by anyone. Meanwhile, in the river of the whole, Archon was meditating, but in front of it a large portal would be formed, so Archon would stand up, but he was extremely relaxed. Even if I don't look at them, you guys are looking for their death. How many worms do I have to beat today? But I was surprised to realize how the Saiyan, who had been able to escape, released an amazing power. So much was the power that multiplied dimensional cracks opened all over the place. So at the moment, Goku, with a great look and without a word, had launched himself against Archon. However, Sung, before the portal closes, was able to cross it and falling into a part of the kingdom of the whole that was a little destroyed. This is amazing. I'm not even able to move easily, so this was the warrior I finished with Goku's whole family. Sung was trying to observe something, but he wasn't able to follow his footsteps because they were extremely fast. But he was surprised when he realized how one of the warriors had fallen short, destroying a planet in its entirety, and after a few seconds, he was able to realize that it was Goku, which expelled large amounts of blood.
Ah, that hurt me too, damn worm. You better be prepared to die, you miserable.
But at the moment, both multiversal kings in the same way launched themselves against Archon. However, all the efforts that were made were in vain, since the difference in powers was incredible. Archon was releasing 90% of all his power, was able to bend them at their entirety. The two kings at all, no matter what they tried to do, they weren't able to do anything against the powerful destroyer. But a gigantic aura would grow all over the place. So at the moment, in the same way, thousands of rays could be observed all over the place, and Goku was starting to approach in an imposing way.
Let them go! This is a battle between only you and me. No one else should get hurt, so let them go.
Archon, with hundreds of energy arrows, had been able to end the life of both kings completely, which left Sung surprised, while Goku's anger began to increase in an incredible way. Damn worm, you're not in a position to decide who lives and who dies, since all of you will die in this very place. Both began to exchange millions of blows all over the place. That's right, but in each exchange of blows, Goku was hurt in an incredible way. So no matter how much his power increased, Goku's internal system began to be compromised because his body was not able to withstand all the excess energy. Goku would fall to the ground again, but this time his whole body began to expel more blood than normal. I can't believe that monster has ended the lives of two of the most powerful beings. Even Son Goku's not able to do anything. Sung would try to get closer, but an energy field all over the place would not allow it. At the moment, Archon would begin to give a beating to Goku. However, Goku would
That's right, Archon's power had grown in an incredible way after absorbing both gods sent by the kings of the All, and the current he powers possessed did not compare to the power he possessed before. And thanks to this great power, he was able to start destroying the three-dimensional barrier that existed between the other minor multiverses, which did not possess any king at all. For each blow that Archon he gave to Goku, the cracks were much bigger. Until a certain point, Goku would be sent to a planet falling with great power, but that multiverse was Sung's, so Goku would notice.
Damn, I'm sorry if I'm not able to protect you, but I promise I'll use 100% of all my power to be able to do something for each of you.
However, from all of Goku's body, an extremely incredible power was becoming present. That's right, all the essence of the Zeno Sama multiverse lived in itself, without even Goku noticing this power. So from all over the universe, a powerful lightning giant would become present, which left all the warriors on planet Earth of that multiverse amazed, as well as Archon and Goku.
Son Goku, you are the hope of our entire multiverse. So get up once again, and we will grant you all our remaining power, while we also stop this worm.
The powerful giant, wrapped in hundreds of lightning bolts, had rushed against Archon. So Archon, with his great confidence, would dodge the powerful attack, but from all the universe, a big fist would come down. Although his speed was not much, the condensed power was overwhelming.
Damn, that was incredible power. But don't think that I'll let myself get hit from all that attack.
Archon, with his great speed, would try to escape. However, that giant was able to restrict Archon's speed, so the instant the fist collided, thousands of planets of all those universes would be destroyed. While this was happening, an incredible power was merging with all the essence of Goku. That's right, Goku's power was starting to increase again. So Goku, with thousands of wounds all over his body, would stand up.
I'm not allowed to lose. This battle's win or die. And unfortunately for you, I don't plan to die alone. Because if I die, you'll do it with me.
Goku, with a great scream, would access the Celestial Super Saiyan again, with all his fur changing to a golden color, and instantly would generate a gigantic explosion all over the place. While Archon had suffered a great damage by the giant, but the damage received, despite being of gravity, was not able to end his life.
Duh, that hurt me too much. But I won't forgive you, because it's all your damn fault. So I'll finish you.
Archon would begin to make the power travel all over his body, with the intention of healing each of his wounds. However, Goku would immediately begin to approach Archon, with great confidence, noticing that he would leave Archon surprised.
Don't worry, take all the time you need. Anyway, today will be the day of your death.
Meanwhile, with Sung, he was also in part of space. He was also lucky enough to receive a few non-serious wounds. So with the help of the system, he was able to heal each of his wounds.
That was close, but I can't believe all the power that Goku's been able to get. This will be the final battle.
This is strange. I have the necessary power to end his life, but I have a very bad feeling I don't like his confidence at all. I have to do something.
Archon was able to heal each of his wounds, so he would also approach Goku. So both warriors, when facing each other, began with their great battle. This time, the battle would not have a clear winner, because each warrior was able to grant each other powerful blows, which had the power to wipe out an entire planet.
This is amazing. Although I'm not able to see anything, I'm sure that Son Goku's even, since he hadn't fallen on any occasion.
But a warrior had been sent to fly to the surface of the planet, causing a big rumble all over the place. But Sung's smile would be drawn on his face, realizing that that was Archon. While on the other hand, Archon was furious for not having fallen to a simple Saiyan. But something was different. That was Goku, who did not fight on his own, like the one towards Archon, because Goku carried all the power of his multiverse inside him.
Get up! I want to keep fighting. I want to finish you until you have the right to earn death, because I just want to humiliate you.
Furious, Archon would release all his remaining power, causing hundreds of catastrophes all over the place.
even being able to destroy much more planet, and as if they were attacks, 4 powerful spheres of energy would be expelled from his entire body. But what really was the pressure that was simply given off, so a powerful explosion, Archon, would be observed, which physically had not changed in the slightest, but the power he gave off was of complete madness.
I hope this time you're prepared to die.
Before Goku's able to say anything, Archon had pounced against him, being able to grant a powerful blow to Goku all over his face, sending him flying to a planet, destroying it in its entirety. However, Archon's onslaught would not end there, because at that moment, Archon, without letting Goku recover, as if it were a flash, had granted him a strong kick, sending him to a planet. Being dragged for thousands of kilometers while Archon, on top of the planet, he channeled a lot of his power.
Receive this! Arrows of divine punishment!
Thousands of golden arrows were approaching Goku's body, so at the moment of impact, hundreds of explosions began to be observed all over the place. So, Sung's gaze would reflect an incredible terror.
I don't know if I have enough power to deal with this damn worm, but right now, I'm thinking of giving up even my life to protect this multiverse.
Sung instantly would summon the entire army of the dead, so thousands of souls had rushed against Archon. However, for Archon, it wasn't anything, because at that moment, Archon, with releasing a little of his power, was able to destroy each of the warriors of the Beyond.
That's interesting. Apparently there's a warrior who has the guts to stand up to me. What fun.
Archon, from a tiny blow of air, was able to make him vomit huge amounts of blood, so his laughter would be heard all over the universe.
Damn, I'm still a useless good-for-nothing. I'm not able to protect even my dear universe.
I admire the determination you possess, but you don't possess the power to even entertain me. So I'll finish you, you miserable scum.
Archon would throw a tiny attack, but to everyone's surprise, Goku would appear in front of Sung with a big smile.
You didn't have to intervene, Sung, since this miserable worm doesn't possess the required power to face me.
Archon was surprised, but Goku, with much higher speed than Archon used, was able to grant him a precise blow in the stomach, making him fall to a planet while expelling large amounts of blood.
Damn it! How are you able to survive that powerful attack? This can't be true, as the condensed power in each energy arrow is incredible.
Just as you're surprised I was, of the power I possess now, since now you'll not be able to do anything against me.
Damn worm, don't say stupid things, since you can't do anything against me.
Archon, with all his determination, would stand up. However, the blow that Goku had given him would begin to cause great internal damage, so his speed had decreased considerably, which Goku would take advantage of to grant him hundreds of blows all over his body, while Sung watched the entire battle with disbelief.
I really don't know who you are, Son Goku. I don't know how you're able to become more and more powerful. It leaves me surprised more and more.
But in the same way, Goku's whole body would expel a mouthful of blood, so a few tears would fall from his eyes.
Apparently, despite having died, you're still taking care of me and helping me.
So Goku would return to watch his back. Although nothing could be observed with the naked eye, Goku was able to see how all his friends and family were the shield of his body. The shield that allowed him to take his body to the limit, being able to withstand all those amounts of energy.
No, no, no! I'm the super fusion of the renegade gods. No multiversal king was able to do something against me. I'll not let a simple monkey like you be able to end my dreams.
Archon, despite having hundreds of wounds all over his body, would stand up once again. But the harder he tried, even his bones were destroyed by the incredible effort he was making. And while Goku gave him a beating, Archon's pride began to plummet, as did his life expectancy, since the combative intention had reduced to the minimum. So he was no longer able to stay on the battlefield.
Goku's amazing. I can't believe he was able to take down that monster.
Like Sung, the whole planet Earth was amazed, because it was amazing that a warrior was able to surpass the heroes of that planet. Even the heroes remained as simple ants in front of those powerful warriors.
It's time to finish you. Do you have any last words?
It doesn't matter that you're able to end the life. You don't know how I enjoy ending the lives of those useless people you call friends.
Goku, with an incredible anger, was able to put his hand in Archon's heart. However, before ending his life, he would slowly withdraw his hand. I'll turn you into what you hate the most. I'll take away all your power. You'll be nothing more than a mere mortal, and you'll never be able to die. Goku was able to take away all the power of Archon, being able to only grant him the base energy of an ordinary human being. So with the new power he had gained, he was able to rise to the entire top of that multiverse. Wow, this power is amazing, but I'll be able to put this power to good use, so you won't be able to make your own. That's right, Goku, with all that great power, was able to make every warrior and every multiverse of all the destroyed multiverses be able to come back to life, including their rulers. So in front of Goku, a great portal would be formed towards his universe, but before entering, he would observe the entire multiverse of Sun. This multiverse was my second home, so I plan to restore everything, as well as grant Sun the required knowledge to be able to overcome all his limits. Goku was able to completely restore Sun's multiverse, so he would move towards. I appreciate your help. When I was in that cave, don't forget that if any time you need my help, I only think of myself, and I'll be able to communicate with you. Thanks to you, Goku. I hope to see you again very soon, my good friend. Goku would grant him the knowledge required for Sun to be able to stand out from the rest of humans. So Goku would enter the portal, returning to his multiverse, meeting all his friends and families.
I knew I'd wasted my life. I trusted you, damn bug. Congrats, Mr. Goku. You've been able to take revenge on us. And apparently we have a special guest.
That's right, it was Archon, who would be locked in an angelic dimension, from which, with his current power, he'd never be able to get out. Thank you very much, my friend. And from today, you'll be appointed as omnipotent guardian of this entire multiverse. All the other multiversal rulers sent their respective thanks for bringing them to life again. It's a great happiness for me to know that I'm able to be with you again.
Are you the most powerful warrior, Goku? But how about if we go to planet Earth to go eat a big drumstick?
I'd love that, Mr. Beerus. So we'd better leave and enjoy the good food.
So all the gods and angels had gone to their respective universes, while Goku shared with his family and loved ones, obtaining a new position in the entire multiverse of Zeno Sama. Vegeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Evolved caused a dramatic change in the intensity of the battle. His bright blue aura flashed with overwhelming energy as he charged towards the shadowy creature and Broly, who was still under his influence.
It's time to put an end to this. Broly, I'll fight to free you from this darkness.
The shadow creature, sensing the threat posed by Super Saiyan Blue, adopted a defensive stance. On the other hand, Broly, his eyes still darkened, prepared to face Vegeta. Vegeta unleashed a flurry of quick and precise attacks, combining punches and kicks with astonishing speed. Each move was charged with the strength of the new form, and the shadow creature was forced to retreat in the face of Vegeta's fury.
Broly, regain control. I'll not allow this darkness to consume you.
Broly, under the influence of the Dark Possession, responded with impressive stamina. His attacks were brutal and uncontrolled, but Vegeta moved with a dexterity that defied expectations.
I need to find an opening in this possession.
In an act of bravery, Vegeta launched himself directly towards Broly. Their fists collided forcefully, and Vegeta, using all his skill, made precise strikes that temporarily weakened the dark influence.
Broly, fight this! You're stronger than this darkness!
The shadowy creature, seeing Vegeta's resistance, increased his energy and fused even more with Broly. Now the dark influence was more entrenched than ever, and Broly unleashed an explosion of wild power.
You can't stop me, Saiyan Prince!
Vegeta, not backing down, continued to engage Broly. The battle reached new heights as both warriors unleashed their most powerful attacks. Vegeta launched a Big Bang attack while Broly responded with a gigantic charge of dark energy. The collision of energies generated a huge explosion that blanketed the area. After the dust settled, Vegeta lay on the ground, clearly exhausted but not giving up.
I can't lose. My determination's stronger than your darkness.
The battle between Vegeta and Broly, who was possessed by the shadow creature, reached a critical point. The overflowing energy of the confrontation was spreading across the battlefield, distorting the air and creating palpable tension.
At that crucial moment, Goku found himself regaining consciousness, stood up, and immediately went to Saiyan's prince's side.
Vegeta, let's go! Let's give it all we've got!
Goku's transformation into Super Saiyan Phase 2 had joined the fray. The shadow creature, seeing the arrival of another Saiyan warrior, prepared to face the new threat.
Kakarot, you're just in time. This thing has gotten stronger with Broly.
We'll face it together! Broly, we won't let this darkness control you!
The three Saiyans stood in formation, ready to deal with the shadow creature fused with Broly. The intensity of the conflict increased even more, with flashes of energy and clashes of fists echoing throughout the battlefield.
Come on, Kakarot, let's attack in unison and free Broly.
I got it, Vegeta! Together, we'll free him!
The Saiyans coordinated their attacks, launching a combined blast towards the shadow creature. Despite their efforts, Broly's dark possession was still resisting, fueled by the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan. Broly, under the influence of the shadow creature, unleashed an uncontrolled fury. His attacks were unpredictable and devastating, putting the Saiyans on the defensive. Goku, Vegeta, and the shadow creature continued to exchange energy blasts and powerful blows.
Vegeta, we must break that possession! We can't let Broly fall into darkness!
Roger that, Kakarot. Let's keep attacking together.
Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, the fiery aura of the Saiyans lit up the sky, a visual manifestation of their mammoth power. Goku and Vegeta, feeling the weight of the battle, decided to take it a step further. They joined their energies in a symphony of power, a final bid to tear apart the shadows enveloping the evil presence. The shadow creature on the brink of the abyss responded with desperation. It raised its own power, and the darkness churned with intensity as it struggled to resist the combined onslaught of the Saiyans. The clash of energies created a cataclysm of flashes and booms, shaking the battlefield to its core. At that critical moment, the energy explosion was unleashed with dazzling magnificence. The earth shook, and the shockwaves swept across the landscape, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, enveloped in the blanket of the explosion, were momentarily eclipsed by the blinding light and dancing shadow. When the shimmering luminosity faded, the Saiyans found themselves faced with a new scenario. On the ground lay Broly, his figure shrouded in a residual haze of the contest. The dark aura that had consumed him had finally dissipated. Stillness reigned on the battlefield. As the warriors approached with worried looks, the formidable warrior who now resisted, his power darkened, finally silenced.
We did it, Vegeta! Broly's free!
Yes, but this shadow creature's still a problem. We can't let our guard down.
Vegeta nodded grimly as they watched Broly, who lay on the ground, slowly recovering from the intense battle. However, at that moment of apparent calm, the shadow creature, cunning and unnoticed, had left Broly's possession to seek a new host. The dark entity swiftly swept into the shadows, unnoticed by the Saiyans, who still assessing their companion's condition. Silently, the shadow creature crept towards Gohan, who had been watching the battle from a distance. Gohan, oblivious to the threat looming over him, felt a shiver run down his spine, just as the shadow creature enveloped him with its dark presence. A momentary flash of its eyes indicated that something was terribly wrong. At that instant, Gohan, with a sudden alteration in his expression, went on guard without warning. His gaze, now posed by the shadow creature, glowed with a malevolence that contrasted with his gentle nature. Goku, noticing the sudden tension, turned towards Gohan, but before he could react, Gohan, under the influence of the shadow creature, moved with supernatural speed. The confrontation with Broly had left the Saiyans exhausted, and the shadow creature, seizing the opportunity, vanished into the darkness along with Gohan. Vegeta, realizing the situation, gritted his teeth in fury. The threat persisted, and now Gohan, a valuable ally, was in the hands of the shadows. Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for a new confrontation, aware that the battle had not yet come to an end. The tension in the air was palpable, as Goku and Vegeta, still worried about Broly, with determination, turned towards the place where the dark entity had vanished.
Damn it! Where'd that thing go?
I don't know, Vegeta, but we must find it before it hurts Gohan!
The two Saiyans, quick as the wind, rushed towards where Gohan had been standing, their senses alert. The shadow creature, now inside Gohan, emerged from the shadows with a sinister laugh.
Looks like they're not as cunning as they thought. Now I have a new toy for my plans. Get out of Gohan, you damn creature!
I'll not allow you to possess my son!
Ha! You think you could stop me? My power possesses even more of your combined forces. Do not underestimate the Saiyans. We have overcome greater challenges than you.
Leave Gohan and face your fate, creature. You'll not be victorious.
The shadow creature, now in control of Gohan, smiled malevolently before responding.
We'll see how long you can resist. Gohan is now an instrument of my will.
The shadow creature possessing Gohan unleashed a burst of dark energy that distorted the surrounding space. Goku and Vegeta suddenly found themselves during a chaotic confrontation, with Gohan now transformed into an instrument of the malevolent entity. The waves of energy radiating from Gohan's possessed figure created an ominous aura that filled the battlefield, defying the Saiyans' endurance and determination. The Saiyans, in their Super Saiyan Blue form, prepared for the impending clash. The shadow creature, using Gohan's body, moved with supernatural agility, dodging the Saiyans' first attacks with grace and malice. Gohan, his eyes now filled with darkness, lunged at Goku with astonishing speed. Goku blocked Gohan's first few blows with difficulty, feeling the enhanced strength and speed of his new controlled son. The fight was intense, each move charged with power and ferocity. Meanwhile, Vegeta positioned himself strategically, assessing the situation, looking for an opening to attack. The shadow creature, through Gohan, unleashed a flurry of attack, which devastating blows that kept Goku on the defensive. However, Goku's ability to adapt quickly to the battle allowed him to counter the attacks and counterattack with his own overwhelming power. Vegeta, sensing an opportunity, lunged at the shadow creature from an unexpected angle. However, the dark entity had sharp reflexes and deflected Vegeta's attack with ease, throwing Gohan against Goku as a distraction. The Shadow's creature's strategy paid off, as it took advantage of the distraction to hit Vegeta with a beam of dark energy. Vegeta, although he resisted the impact, was momentarily weakened. The entity, now with a malevolent smile, turned to him.
Damn it! This isn't over, shadow creature.
Goku, reacting quickly, stepped between the shadow creature and Vegeta.
Vegeta, hold on! We can't let this thing divide us.
The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos at its zone, released a dark aura that enveloped both Saiyans. The dark energy sought to confuse and weaken their senses. However, the Saiyans' instinctive connection to Ki enabled them to resist the dark influence. The battle raged in a frenzy of clashing colors and energies. Gohan, controlled by the shadow creature, moved with a mixture of speed and agility that defied the laws of physics. Goku and Vegeta, each focusing on their own battlefront, were trying to coordinate their attacks to free Gohan from the dark possession.
Gohan, fight this darkness! You're stronger than this!
Gohan, though showing flashes of resistance, was caught in an internal struggle between his will and the shadow creature's control. The battle grew more challenging. With each passing second, the shadow creature reveled in its ability to manipulate and corrupt one of Earth's mightiest warriors. Vegeta, recovering from the earlier onslaught, threw himself back into the fray. The shadow creature, however, anticipated his attack and gracefully dodged Vegeta's attempts to strike it. The dark entity counterattacked with a series of precise blows that forced Vegeta to retreat.
You damn shadow, don't underestimate the Prince of the Saiyans.
Goku, seeing his partner's difficulty, raised his power to the maximum. Dazzling energy emanated from his Super Saiyan Blue form as he prepared for a concentrated attack. The shadow creature, noticing the glowing threat, diverted its attention to Goku.
Vegeta, keep up the pressure! I'm gonna concentrate my energy to free Gohan!
Vegeta nodded and increased his offensive, distracting the shadow creature as Goku concentrated his power. The fight reached a new level of intensity, with each move echoing across the vast battlefield. The energy collided, creating shockwaves that distorted reality itself. Goku, eyes glowing with determination, unleashed his most powerful attack. A sphere of glowing blue energy formed in his outstretched hands. Charged with the combined strength of the Saiyans, the spear grew in size and the power as Goku had held it in place.
It's time to free Gohan!
The shadow creature, realizing the threat, moved quickly to stop Goku's attack. Vegeta, taking advantage of the distraction, lunged with renewed fury, looking for an opening to attack. The battle reached its climax when Goku released the energy sphere, ascending it directly towards the shadow creature. The energy sphere burst into a dazzling flash, illuminating the battlefield with intense light. Shockwaves swept through the darkness as Goku's purifying energy sought to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession. However, as the light faded and the earth stopped shaking, the shadow creature emerged seemingly unharmed. The dark entity, now irritated, turned to the Saiyans with a twisted laugh.
Is that all you can do? My power is unbreakable.
Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for the next assault. The battle, far from ending, dragged on into confrontation of epic proportions. Darkness and light collided in an endless clash, with the will of the Saiyans resisting against the entity that threatened to plunge them into the shadows. The dark creature, after resisting Goku's powerful attack, showed a malicious smile. A dark glow enveloped Gohan, and his body began to tremble with intensity. A guttural scream echoed through the air as the dark entity forced a unique transformation on the Saiyan warrior. Gohan, under the shadow creature's influence, contorted and his body was enveloped in a dark, feral energy. The earth trembled with the intensity of the transformation, and Gohan's figure began to change. Defined musculature, red eyes, a wild gaze, long gray hair, and emerging in the new form, Gohan Dark Beast. Vegeta and Goku, shocked by the unexpected evolution, instinctively recoiled from the overwhelming presence of Dark Gohan Beast. The shadow creature had accomplished what it could not do with Broly, unleash a unique and uncontrolled transformation on Gohan. Dark Beast Gohan, now freed from any hint of rationality, roared skyward, emitting an overwhelming energy that shook the battlefield. His eyes glowed with an animalistic intensity, and his posture indicated that human control was suppressed.
This can't be happening. What did that thing do?
The shadow creature managed to unlock something inside Gohan. This won't be easy.
The shadow creature, pleased with the success of its manipulation, watched the scene with satisfaction.
Now, witness my true power, the Saiyan Beast Warrior. How do you plan to stop him?
Dark Beast Gohan let out a deafening roar and lunged towards Vegeta with impressive speed. Dark Beast Gohan's attacks were ferociously savage, his brute strength and speed surpassing even Broly's most rampaging transformation. Vegeta, using his speed and agility, dodged Dark Beast Gohan's first attacks. However, the Saiyan Beast Warrior's ferocity was unpredictable, and Vegeta was forced to deploy all his skill to stay out of range of the devastating attacks. Goku, assessing the situation, transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and rushed to Vegeta's aid. The two Saiyans fought in tactical coordination, looking to open an opportunity to counter Gohan's savage new form. The battle became a whirlwind of energy, with explosions and crashes echoing across the battlefield. The shadow creature in the shadows continued to manipulate and fuel Dark Beast Gohan's fury. The Saiyan strategy was becoming more and more challenging as Dark Beast Gohan seemed to be one step ahead, anticipating their moves.
Damn it! Gohan Beast is too unpredictable.
We must find a way to free Gohan from this transformation. We can't let the shadow control his true power.
As the Saiyans faced Gohan Beast's fury, the shadow creature watched from the shadows, enjoying the chaos he had unleashed. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment, and the Saiyans' endurance was being tested in the face of Beast Gohan's uncontrollable fury. The battle raged on in a titanic struggle between light and darkness, with the hope of freeing Gohan from the influence of the shadow creature hanging in delicate balance. The Saiyans, determined to overcome this challenge, faced an enemy that had managed to unleash an even greater internal threat than before. While the intense battle raged on the battlefield, Piccolo, the Namekian sage, was immersed in his mental training somewhere secluded. His concentration was so deep that he could feel an abrupt shift in ki, a disturbance that reverberated through space and time. A shiver ran down his back, indicating the gravity of the situation.
Something's not right.
The Namekian instantly stood up, his cloak billowing as he focused on the direction of the glowing chaos. The power he felt was not just brute force. It was an amalgam of dark energies that seemed to defy the very essence of reality. Wasting no time, Piccolo prepared to approach this side of the conflict. Back on the battlefield, Goku and Vegeta fought valiantly against Dark Beast Gohan, who moved with uncontrollable ferocity under the influence of the shadow creature. The dark entity, sensing Piccolo's arrival, smirked.
Looks like we have a new guest. This just gets more interesting.
Goku and Vegeta focused on Gohan Beast, noticing Piccolo's presence as he appeared on the battlefield with a serenity that contrasted with the surrounding chaos.
What happened here? What have you done with Gohan? That shadow thing possessed Gohan and transformed it into a wild beast.
We can't free Gohan this way. The shadow creature manipulates his power in unimaginable ways.
Dark Beast Gohan, noticing Piccolo's arrival, turned to him with wild eyes. The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos, prepared for the next act of this heartbreaking play.
Welcome, Piccolo. You're just in time to witness the inevitable downfall of these Saiyans. Don't underestimate the Saiyans or my determination. I'm here to free Gohan.
The Namekian braced himself for the confrontation, deploying his ki with an intensity that made it clear he would not be a mere spectator in this battle. Dark Beast Gohan, fueled by the shadowy influence, roared and lunged towards Piccolo with a speed that defied all logic. The battle became even more chaotic with Piccolo's entrance. His movements were precise and calculated, contrasting with the wild ferocity of Dark Beast Gohan. Goku and Vegeta, aware of Piccolo's strategic skill, adjusted their approach to coordinate their attacks with the Namekian. Meanwhile, the shadow creature watched the battle with a Machiavellian smile, enjoying the confrontation between the forces of light and shadow. The dark entity was determined to prove that its influence was insurmountable. The fight unfolded in a whirlwind of colliding energies, with Piccolo demonstrating his tactical and strategic prowess. Dark Beast Gohan, however, remained a formidable challenge, his erratic movements and uncontrolled strength testing the tenacity of the warriors on the battlefield.
Goku, Vegeta, we need to plan to break the connection between Gohan and that shadow creature.
You're right, Piccolo. We need to attack from different fronts and destabilize that connection.
I'll take care of keeping Beast Gohan busy. Kakarot, you use the connection you have with your son to try to isolate the shadow creature.
Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their efforts with Piccolo's strategic expertise, went on the assault. Piccolo used his wisdom to be able to devise a way to get Dark Beast Gohan out of said possession, while Vegeta unleashed his fury with calculated attacks to keep the beast at bay. As the battle continued, the shadow creature began to feel the pressure of the combined strategy of the Saiyans and Piccolo. The connection between Gohan and the dark entity was under threat, and the shadow creature, despite its confidence, was beginning to show signs of concern. The battle was far from over, but the warriors' resilience was growing stronger in the face of the adversity that loomed over them. As Piccolo continued his mental struggle to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession, his Namekian senses sharpened. Keen perception led him to identify a small shadow leech clinging to Dark Beast Gohan's lower neck, a detail that had not been evident in Broly's previous possession due to his long hair covering that region.
That's it. The key in this little shadow leech on his neck. We must eliminate it to free Gohan.
Piccolo's revelation attracted the attention of Vegeta and Goku on the physical battlefield. Vegeta, upon hearing this, turned his gaze to the back of Gohan Beast's dark neck and noticed the presence of the Shadow Leech.
A Shadow Leech? That explains why we couldn't free Broly this way.
How do we eliminate it without harming Gohan?
As Piccolo struggled to maintain his mental connection, he analyzed this situation and came up with a strategy.
If we attack the Shadow Leech directly, we might harm Gohan in the process. We need a precise way to eliminate it without endangering his life. So what's the plan, Piccolo? Goku, you've mastered Ultra Instinct, but you can only maintain it for a few seconds. We need to take advantage of those brief moments to distract Dark Beast Gohan and allow you to get close enough to destroy the Shadow Leech.
Understood, Piccolo. I'll do my best.
But how do we make sure Beast Gohan doesn't attack while Kakarot's approaching? That's the tricky part. We need to keep Gohan busy and distracted. Vegeta, your attacks must be precise and constant, keeping his attention on you. I will, but Kakarot, don't make me regret this.
The battle resumed with renowned intensity. Vegeta went on the offensive, attacking Gohan Dark Beast with a series of swift and powerful blows. Gohan responded with ferocity, but Vegeta maintained agile, dodging his attacks while keeping the savage Saiyan warrior's attention. At that moment, Goku concentrated, channeling Ultra Instinct. An aura of flickering energy surrounded him as he activated the powerful transformation. His speed increased exponentially, allowing him to easily dodge Dark Beast Gohan's attacks.
Now, Goku, now's your chance.
Goku in his Ultra Instinct state moved with superhuman speed towards Gohan's rear. The shadow creature, still focused on the fierce confrontation with Vegeta, did not notice Goku's approach.
This is my chance to end this!
With pinpoint accuracy, Goku reached out his hand and touched the small shadow leech on Gohan's neck. The leech, upon being touched by the Ultra Instinct energy, began to fade, emitting a dark screech before dissolving completely. Dark Beast Gohan, losing connection with the Shadow Leech, shook violently as if releasing himself from a trance. Vegeta, noticing the change, cautiously stepped back as Goku returned to his normal state.
What happened?
Kakarot seems to have found a way to free you from that thing.
It was risky, but it worked.
Well done, Goku, but don't let your guard down. This shadow creature might have more tricks up its sleeve.
The immediate threat had been neutralized. The shadow creature, watching from the shadows, moving away unnoticed by the Saiyan warriors, was not about to give up, so the shadow creature set out to return to its master. After the terrifying moment that the Z warriors had experienced, Goku and Vegeta realized that Beerus and Whis were not on Earth. They had disappeared just moments before the shadow creatures appeared on Earth. This is because Daishinkan discovered that Zeno Sama had been killed by his father and immediately summoned all the angels and gods of destruction. In the majestic realm of all, Daishinkan, the high priest, summoned all the angels and gods of destruction of the existing universes. The atmosphere in the hall was unusually tense, and concern was reflected in the faces of those present. Daishinkan, with his usual calmness, prepared to share the disturbing truth he had discovered.
Angels and gods of destruction, the time has come to face a powerful truth. Zeno Sama, our beloved king of all, has been slain.
Silence fell over the hall. The angels and the gods of destruction exchanged looks of disbelief and dismay. No one expected that such a tragedy could occur, especially at the hands of someone so powerful.
My investigation revealed that the one responsible for this abominable act was Zeno Sama's own father.
The news resounded like a somber echo in the room. Everyone present processed the shocking revelation. The omnipresent figure of Zeno Sama, the supreme deity, had been shattered by his own protagonist. Mohito, Sidra's angel, spoke in a worried voice.
How is it possible that a being as powerful as Zeno Sama's father could have committed such an act?
That is a question for which I still have no answers. But now we must face the consequences of this event. The stability of the multiverse is in danger.
Arak, the god of destruction of Quitella, asked,
"And what measures will we take in the face of this threat? What'll happen to the throne of Zeno Sama?"
That is a question we must discuss and resolve. For now, the throne remains empty, and our duty is to maintain peace and balance. But before we make hasty decisions, we need to fully understand the magnitude of this situation.
Beerus and Whis prepared to inform the gods of destruction and angels of all universes about what they had witnessed while on planet Earth with Goku and Vegeta. The Hall of the Realm of Everything was filled with celestial beings, each one expectant and worried about the news they were about to receive.
Attention everyone! We have crucial information to share about the events that have been unfolded.
Before we are summoned here, the father of Zeno Sama appeared on all the planets of the multiverse. Surprise was reflected on the faces of those present. Murmurs and whispers filled the room, as the gods of destruction and angels exchanged looks of disbelief. His visit was not simply to report the death of Zeno Sama. He announced the holding of the tournament that would determine the survival of the planets in each universe. Additional rumors filled the room, creating a constant buzz of concern. The gods of destruction and angels wanted to understand the implications of such an announcement.
He informed the rules of the tournament and the intentions behind such a competition, but it's necessary that we all work together to get answers and face this threat. It is time to join forces and overcome this crisis. The fate of our universes is at stake.
As the gods and angels absorbed the gravity of the situation, in every corner of the Hall of the Realm of Everything, conversations and plans were brewing to confront the mysterious tournament that threatened to upset the balance of the multiverse. Uncertainty hung in the air, but the determination of the divine beings was determined to face the unknown that lay ahead. In the Hall of Everything, Daishinkan, the High Priest, sensed the imminent arrival of extremely powerful entities heading for the different planets of the multiverse. His face reflected seriousness as he prepared to inform all the angels and gods of destruction present of the coming threat.
Gods and angels of destruction, the time has come to face a new and challenging threat. Entities of great power are headed towards the planets of our universes, and their goal seems to be a direct confrontation with the strongest warriors of each world.
The expressions of those present became serious. Aware of the gravity of the situation, Daishenkin continued with determination.
It's crucial that we move quickly to protect the strongest warriors of each planet, regardless of which universe they belong to. The threat we face does not respect universal boundaries, and we must act with unity to preserve the balance.
Vados, the Angel of Champa, raised his hand.
How do you plan for us to move, Daishenkin? We each have responsibilities in our universes. I understand the complexity of this situation, but the magnitude of this threat requires immediate action. I suggest that every angel and god of destruction move to the planets threatened by this unknown force. We must prevent the strongest warriors from being defeated before we can fully understand our enemies.
Sounds like a sensible plan, Daishenkin. If we all work together, we can protect our warriors and gain more information about these powerful entities. Each angel and god of destruction nodded in agreement, accepting the need to act immediately. They moved quickly to the various planets, casting aside universal barriers in a joint effort to safeguard the multiverse.
May the wisdom and power of each of you guide this effort. Let us not underestimate this new threat. Our duty is to protect the existence of our universes.
With those words, the angels and gods of destruction dispersed, leaving the Hall of All in preparation to face a challenge that transcended universal boundaries and demanded the collaboration of all divine beings. Uncertainty hung in the air, but determination to preserve the balance of the multiverse guided the powerful beings in their joint mission. The angels and gods of destruction quickly teleported to the threatened planets, each determined to protect the strongest warriors on the various planets. In the blink of an eye, the skies lit up with flashes of divine energy as Awamo and Ewin, Cognac and Quintella, Matanu and Geen, Whis and Beerus, and the other angels and gods of destruction headed toward their assigned destinations. The planet Thraxis Nocturne lay peaceful in the corner of the cosmos, its nocturnal luminosity radiating a tranquility that was about to be disturbed. In the vast space, Awamo the angel, with his small book in hand, and his god of destruction Ewin, an imposing figure with a stern gaze, detected the arrival of a shadow creature, a minion of Zeno Sama's father. The creature, shrouded in malevolent darkness, descended with malevolent determination towards Thraxis Nocturne. Ewin, without hesitation, deployed his energy of destruction while Awano stood by, hoping to resolve the conflict without a bath of chaos. Creature, your darkness will not be tolerated in this realm. Stop your destructive plans. The shadow creature emanated a guttural growl, its presence emanating an unnatural energy that distorted the space around it. The space battle began with an explosion of opposing forces. Ewin launched destructive beams, while Awamo used his speed to dodge the attacks and assess the situation. Ewin, this creature's stronger than we imagined. We must be cautious. I know, Awamo, but we can't let him destroy Thraxis Nocturne. We must give our best. The shadow creature, agile and evasive, responded to the attacks with dark energy waves that distorted space. The battle spread across the firmament, leaving traces of destructive energy in its wake. Ewin tried to anticipate the creature's movements. However, the shadow creature proved to be agile and adaptive, countering every strategy with an unmatched dark force.
Our conventional methods don't work. Ewin, we need to combine our forces.
I agree, Awamo. It's time to show them the true power of destruction. Awamo and Ewin merged their energies, creating a flash of light that defied the surrounding darkness. The shadow creature, perceiving the threat, intensified its own energy, generating a collision of cosmic forces that shook space itself. The battle reached a fever pitch, with cosmic explosions lighting up the scene as Awamo and Ewin struggled to contain the darkness. The struggle took place not only on the physical plane, but also on the spiritual one, where the will to protect Thraxis Nocturne was pitted against the ruthless ambition of the shadow creature. The fusion of Awamo and Ewin unleashed a dazzling energy that eclipsed even the nocturnal luminosity of Thraxis Nocturne. The gold and violet glow enveloped the divine couple as they prepared to face the dark threat looming over the peaceful planet. It's time to show the true extent of our power, Awamo. The shadow creature, aware of the growing threat, rushed towards them with supernatural speed. Awamo, with his keen perception, anticipated every movement of the creature. allowing the couple to dodge its onslaughts with heavenly elegance.
Keep calm, Ewan. We must synchronize our movements to counteract their darkness.
Ewan nodded and unleashed a series of destructive energy blasts that lit up the space around him. However, the shadow creature responded with amazing agility, dodging every attack with meandering movements. The battle became a cosmic game of strategy and speed. The angel Awamo and the god of destruction Ewan soon realized that in order to defeat this entity, they would need a coordinated attack that transcended the limits of their individual abilities. In a moment of perfect timing, they unleashed a gale of combined energy. Awamo channeled the energy of destruction while Ewan released violet flashes of destruction.
Focus your energy, Awamo. Let's get rid of this darkness once and for all.
Awamo nodded and joined the attack with determination. The fused energy of both angel and god turned into a spear of golden and violet light that pierced through space with an impressive speed. The shadow creature, caught in the torrent of power, let out a heart-rending howl as it was enveloped by the luminosity. The impact was abysmal, generating an expansive wave that shook the cosmos. The darkness that enveloped the creature began to dissipate, revealing its twisted and weakened form. Awamo and Ewan, exhausted but triumphant, stood on guard ready for any eventuality.
We have managed to contain their darkness, but we can't let our guard down.
The shadow creature, now visibly weakened, recoiled before the imposing presence of Awamo and Ewan. The light had prevailed over the darkness in the cosmic corner of Thraxis Nocturne. The divine couple remained firm in their duty to protect the planet that this creature wanted to destroy. However, the battle was not yet over, and the fates of the planets remained uncertain in the vastness of space. After the shocked combined attack of Awamo and Ewan, the space around Thraxis Nocturne was vibrating with the residual energy of the cosmic battle. The shadow creature, apparently weakened, remained suspended in the cosmic void, enveloped in a dark glow that seemed to absorb the surrounding light. The divine couple watched cautiously, aware that the fate of Thraxis Nocturne was still hung in the cosmic balance.
Ewan, something's not right. The darkness of that creature seems to be getting stronger instead of weaker. It seems that our attack has absorbed by her, but it shouldn't be possible. How can he transform our energy of destruction to his own power?
The shadow creature, now surrounded by a more intense aura, began to change its shape. Its twisted figure became more defined. His eyes shone with a malevolent lucidity. The darkness emanating from her was becoming denser, distorting the space around her.
You have underestimated my true potential, angel and god of destruction. Your energy has strengthened me beyond your comprehension.
The divine couple prepared for what was to come next, aware that the threat they faced had evolved. The shadow creature, now empowered by the absorbed energy, charged towards them with renewed speed and ferocity.
We need to be more cautious, Ewan. It seems that every blow we inflict makes her stronger.
Understood, Awamo, but we can't allow this darkness to devour Thraxis Nocturne. The battle resumed with increased intensity. The shadow creature attacked with bursts of dark energy that cut through space, while Awamo and Ewan responded with flashes of golden and violet light. The cosmic dance of lights and shadows painted an epic picture in the vastness of the universe. Each blow and backlash echoed like thunder in space, distorting reality itself. Awamo, with his keen perception, tried to anticipate the movements of the dark creature, but the dark entity proved to be unpredictable. Ewan, with his energy of destruction, sought to weaken the creature, but his attacks seemed to be absorbed and turned into an additional source of power.
Every time we hit her, her power increases. We can't go on like this. We must find a way to counteract his ability to absorb our energy. Do you have any ideas, Awamo?
Awamo pondered for a moment, his angelic mind working in search of a solution. Meanwhile, the shadow creature, aware of its opponent's confusion, took the opportunity to launch a surprise attack. A wave of dark energy enveloped Awamo and Ewan, distorting their perception and weakening their defenses.
Ha 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 ha! Your resistance is useless. I am the embodiment of darkness. His light cannot prevail before me.
The situation was becoming more and more desperate for the divine couple as they struggled to resist the shadow creature's attacks.
Awamo turned his attention to the small book he always carried with him. An idea began to form in his mind.
Ewin, I think I have an idea, but we need to synchronize our attacks in a different way.
Explain yourself, Awamo.
Awamo explained his plan to Ewin, who nodded in understanding. Both God and Angel prepared to put their strategy into practice. The shadow creature, confident in its superiority, launched into the attack again, but this time Awamo and Ewin were ready to respond differently.
Now, Ewin, combine your energy of destruction with mine in a more controlled way.
Ewin nodded and channeled his energy to Awamo, who in turn merged it with his. Instead of launching a direct attack, they created a sphere of combined light and energy that floated between them.
Do you think this tactic will change the outcome? We'll see.
The energy sphere began to slowly expand, emanating a glowing light that contrasted the surrounding darkness. The shadow creature, curious but confident, watched the development with disdain.
The fused power is not only destructive, but it also has properties that counteract its absorption capacity.
The combined energy sphere, now reaching its maximum expansion, released a wave of light and energy that enveloped the shadow creature. This time, instead of absorbing the power, the darkness that characterized her began to dissipate.
What is this? My power should not be weakened. We create an energy that goes beyond destruction and creation, one that neutralizes the darkness that you're trying to absorb.
The shadow creature, weakened by Awamo and Ewin's strategic counterattack, retreated as the combined energy sphere continued to exert its effect. The light emanating from the sphere began to purify the darkness surrounding the entity, revealing its original form before corruption.
It seems our tactic's working, but we must make sure we contain it completely.
We can't let our guard down. Let's continue with the strategy until the creature's completely neutralized.
The space battle continued, but this time Awamo and Ewin had the upper hand. His sphere of combined energy continued to exert its purifying effect, dispelling the darkness that threatened Thraxis Nocturne. With each passing moment, the shadow creature grew weaker. The light of hope began to shine in the corner of the cosmos that was once on the verge of destruction. The shadow creature, weakened by Awamo and Ewin's strategy, retreated into space, its distorted form twisting as the combined energy sphere continued to purify the darkness that enveloped it. In a desperate attempt to regain his strength, the shadow creature began to explore its surroundings, looking for an opportunity to turn the situation in his favor.
My power is weakened here. I need to find a place where darkness prevails.
While exploring, the shadow creature noticed something that favored him. His eyes flashed with malevolent anticipation as he discovered that this world was called Thraxis Nocturne because it was a planet plunged into shadows. The dark entity smiled malevolently as he realized that this planet could provide the darkness needed to revitalize his power.
Ha 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 ha! Thraxis Nocturne, a feast of darkness awaits me!
With amazing speed, the shadow creature launched itself towards the planet, traversing space with great speed. Awamo and Ewin, aware of his intentions, followed closely, determined to stop any attempt by the shadow creature to plunge into the darkness of the planet. As the creature approached Thraxis Nocturne, the darkness of the planet seemed to intensify, as if responding to its presence. The planet's nighttime atmosphere shone with a faint luminosity, offering a fascinating contrast to the surrounding stars.
Ewin, we must prevent the creature from being filled with dark power. If she succeeds, it'll be even more difficult to stop her.
Understood, Awamo. We'll not allow the darkness of this planet to fall into the hands of that entity.
The shadow creature descended on Thraxis Nocturne with a terrifying impetus. As she approached, the darkness seemed to take her in, enveloping her with a gloomy welcome. The shadow creature began to absorb the darkness of the planet, its twisted form vibrating with a new energy as it filled with the essence of Thraxis Nocturne.
Ha 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 ha! Yes, this darkness will strengthen me. Nothing can stop me now.
Awamo and Ewin, wasting no time, headed towards the shadow creature, determined to stop its advance before it became unstoppable. The battle in the shadows of Thraxis Nocturne was about to take a very drastic turn.
We cannot allow this darkness to completely corrupt this creature. We must stop her before she becomes invincible.
Your previous strategy was effective, Awamo. Let's keep working together to counter his power.
Deep in the shadows of Thraxis Nocturne,
the intense presence of the absorbing shadow creature did not go unnoticed by the most powerful warriors on the planet. Turles, Bardock, Raditz, Frieza, and his brother Cooler felt the darkness increasing around them and, with a mixture of amazement and concern, headed toward the epicenter of the threat.
Something's not right. The darkness in this place is getting denser. Whatever it is, we cannot let it threaten Thraxis Nocturne. Let's investigate.
The warriors moved nimbly across the gloomy terrain, advancing towards the source of the darkness. As they got closer, the atmosphere became heavier, as if the shadow itself wanted to resist their advance.
The darkness is different. I feel a strange pressure. I'm not afraid of the dark, but this is unusual. Cooler, stay alert.
Understood, Frieza. Let's find out what's going on.
Suddenly, a wave of dark energy erupted before them, revealing the shadow creature that was absorbing the darkness of the planet. His twisted figure and malevolent aura were as evident as the threat he posed to Thraxis Nocturne.
Warriors of this planet, his darkness feeds me. Soon I will be unstoppable. We won't let you destroy Thraxis Nocturne. Get ready, creature.
The warriors went on the attack, each unleashing their unique power against the dark entity. Turles unleashed his evil aura, releasing bursts of destructive energy. Bardock channeled his Saiyan fury into powerful blows, while Raditz and Cooler coordinated their attacks to create a symphony of destruction. Frieza intensifying the struggle.
This creature doesn't know who he's up against.
Your resistance is useless. Each blow only increases my power.
The shadow creature, powered by the darkness of Thraxis Nocturne, absorbed attacks with defiant ease. Each impact seemed to strengthen rather than weaken it, plunging the warriors into the disturbing reality that they were facing an enemy that fed on its own darkness.
It's not working. He's getting stronger and stronger.
We need to change our strategy. We can't let it absorb all the darkness on the planet.
While the warriors struggled to find an effective strategy, the shadow creature, with its distorted laughter, continued to absorb the darkness, becoming more and more powerful. The Battle of Thraxis Nocturne's survival was at its most critical, and the warriors knew that they had to find a solution before the dark entity became invincible. The dark aura released by the shadow creature enveloped the warriors of Thraxis Nocturne, gradually weakening them. The warriors struggled to stay on their feet as the entity's malevolent energy infiltrated their bodies, obscuring their vital forces.
This is it. Too much.
I can't let that defeat us like this.
The warriors, despite their bravery, were overcome by the darkness emanating from the aura of the shadow creature. At that critical moment, when hope seemed to be fading, a heavenly light pierced the shadows. Owamo and Ewin, the angels charged with protecting Thraxis Nocturne, arrived on the battlefield.
The darkness emanating from this creature is breathtaking. We cannot allow it to take over this planet. Time to show these warriors how to fight true darkness.
The angel spread his wings, and together with the god of destruction, they advanced towards the shadow creature, his presence radiating a luminosity that defied the malevolent nature of the dark aura. As it approached, the dark entities sensed the arrival of divine beings and turned to face the new threat.
Ha 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 ha! More insignificant beings. His light will be devoured by my darkness. Don't underestimate the power of light. Darkness cannot resist the true essence of creation.
Owamo extended his hand, and a purifying light enveloped the battlefield, counteracting the dark effect of the creature's aura. Ewin, on the other hand, deployed the energy of destruction, creating a perfect balance between light and darkness. The shadow creature, for the first time, felt the pressure of forces that it could not easily absorb or resist. The conflict took a turn, and the battle became more intense as the angel and god of destruction faced the dark entity with a unique combination of light and destruction.
The real struggle starts now. We'll protect Thraxis Nocturne from the darkness you represent.
The fight between the angels and the shadow creature reached impressive levels, with bursts of energy illuminating the dark planet of Thraxis Nocturne. Meanwhile, the warriors, freed from the debilitating effects of the dark aura, watched the fight, hoping that their planet would not be destroyed.
What will happen next? Find out in the next chapter. Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like, Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.